Rise and shine, guys. It's Monday. No, not US. It's Monday morning, LA time, and it's back to regular. Yesterday I launched my challenges. It's 3 coming up. It's Summer Shred, Defat America 2, and we have the military challenge. And regarding the military challenge, first active duty and vets, the 500 first get free admission. When that link is gone, you have to do the regular ones. The Summer Shred is more or less for everyone, woman who wants to build muscle and lean out. Discipline Your Dedication starts on Wednesday. The last day to sign up for that is going to be tomorrow, I believe. And we also have Defat America Volume 2. Thank you for all the hearts. I'm gonna be efficient here and just define the questions. It's always a delay, so I'm not sitting here just taking up space. I'm waiting for things to load. Technology, huh? But in the meantime, what can I say? FighterDietChallenge.com. Rachel Tedford says, do you take a pre-workout? Yes, I do. I have my Fighter Diet Pump and I have my Fighter Diet Burn. I either combine them or take Burn. I'm more a fan of a Burn than the Pump, but a lot of people love the Pump, so that's my pre-workout. I also take the BCAAs and the whey protein, beta-alanine, and creatine, so that all together stacks up. Hector says, can men do it too? Men can do Fighter Diet, men can do the Discipline Your Dedication, and the military challenge. And I am not sure if Defat America 2 is for men or not. Please contact my team at Sasha, S-A-S-H-A, at fighterdiet.com. All typical, check out how to get the sign-up link, kits, shipping, orders, and all that stuff. Please take that with my team at customerservice@fighterdiet.com. I'm not in charge of that. I'm in charge of the social media and updating you and writing and doing books, and hosting the challenges. But I'm not the tech woman, or I don't know where you're shipping, like the tracking information and so on. But one thing I know, all ebooks are downloads. If you haven't found it, it's because you have to go to accounts and then click downloads. And if you have signed up for a challenge and you're waiting for an ebook, be prepared that you're not gonna get the ebook until we're close to start and the group is accepted with all people. Jorge says, hi Pauline, can you train in a week, 1 day quads, 1 day hams, and 1 day glutes? I mean, you can, but is it efficient? Not really, because most moves that really target all those muscles at the same time are compound movements, which has the greatest chance to deliver more muscle growth and strength. So if you only do isolation moves, it's gonna be counterproductive since you're not really working the best exercises. I like to split my leg workouts into 2. One that is quad and glute dominant, and one oriented, and one hamstring oriented. Oriented means that it's not completely isolation work. I don't do that for any muscle group except for, the small ones. For instance, biceps, all you do is basically isolate it. But you also using biceps when you train back. Same thing with chest, triceps, and shoulders. If you only work out a few times a week, it's good to combine those 3. Oh, God. Pavel, stop messaging me again. Stop. He's sending all the updates, it's great, but it's not during live. He forgot about that, he forgets about it all the time. Pavel is the CEO of Fighter Diet. And we don't live in the same building or the same city, so sometimes things happen. So same thing there with the chest and triceps and shoulders. Those all together work in the same kind of moves, and it can be good to put them together if you only have a few days. But if you're not, and you want to target one or more areas more specifically, you have to allow time between those workouts. Let's say doing chest day 1, shoulders day 2, and triceps day 3 is gonna be bad, because basically you're training the same kind of joint structure 3 days in a row. So throw in a pull day there, like back or legs. My split that I really like to do is shoulders and abs day 1, day 2 quads and glutes oriented, so it's legs. 3 it's gonna be back. 4 is pecs and calves and abs sometimes. Friday is hamstrings oriented leg workout, and then Saturday is arms and calves and arches. I also do cardio 6 days a week, unless I can't control myself, my urges to go and train, and it happens to do 7. I did 1 workout yesterday, plus I stretched for 1 hour and 28 minutes, plus do trigger points. I'm really happy about that. Jessica says, just joined Super Shred for 2017. Awesome. Kaimi says, when does Summer Shred start? I think that's exactly what I need. Go to the website fighterdietchallenge.com and you see the countdown on when the challenges start. Todd Kroll says, I'm afraid I'm losing too much weight and I'm worried about adding muscle. I don't know what you're talking about. I remember from the past you said you lost 160 kilos or pounds. I don't remember which one unit. I think pounds. But now, losing too much weight and worried about adding muscle, you mean that you want to? You worried about adding it as a negative thing or not? Because I'm lost there. Brian says, how do you stay motivated? I know what I don't want. I don't like to feel out of shape. I don't like to have a body that doesn't look the way I have in my head. It doesn't look like that, but I can always strive for doing the best I have. There's no really other solution. But that's my motivation, but I don't rely on it, because some days I'm not motivated to do the work, but I'm honest with myself. So I say, well, Pauline, do you really want it? And then I say, yes. And I say, well, what the heck is going on? If you don't do the work, how do you think it's gonna happen? So suck it up, lollipop. I am as hard on myself as I am with you, just so you know. If you think that I'm mean, you know why. So all the dates for Summer Shred, Military Challenge, Discipline Your Dedication, which starts on Wednesday, Defect America Volume 2, go to fighterdietchallenge.com, click on each challenge, you see a clock that ticks down, digital. Sue says, can you sub vegan protein powder in the future challenge kits? Please take it with my kit, with my team, customer service at fighterdiet.com. It should be no problem, but please contact them. I'm not in order of the shipment and so on. Per se, there's no conflict of interest or something that there's no vegan protein. It's just the way we set up was with the whey and so on. Rita says, I'm in your butt Bible challenge. What exercise do you suggest in place of lying down leg curls? Don't have access to that at home. If you have a big gym ball, you can use those. If you have a foam roller, you can use that to do the foam roller leg curl. Or you can do the Nordic curls with something soft to have under your knees with a stick, unless you're really strong, or with bands, those resistance bands, the big ones, and then you attach that to something sturdy, and then you lean over and forward. Should be a picture in the book. If it's not, let me know. Nordic curl it's called. Stephanie Luciani says, do you ever have days when you feel small or flabby? I'm in Super Shred and for some reason feel a little soft today. Any reason what I would feel like that? I need to keep dropping to get more shredded. Just feeling a bit soft today. Are you kidding me? Of course I do. Haven't you seen my pictures where I show when I would retain water? So on my body, a tiny body at 5'2", if I gain some water weight, I look completely different than if I have a good day where I'm not retaining water, subcutaneous water. The leaner I am, the better I look. My physique is so, since you're small, you can't really have much body fat with muscle without looking too stocky, and I'm not into the stocky look. I like to have a sleeker, buff, but you know, like really defined physique. And yes, I do feel skinny fat at sometimes, and it's almost like either I feel skinny fat or I feel that I'm a whale. And I haven't found the perfect formula to how to keep it, because the body will fluctuate all the time. When you're not me and you just started training and you want to get lean, remember you can't lean out what's not there. So muscle mass does decrease if you lower your body fat. It's not possible to only lose 100% fat and no body muscle unless you go super slow. And if people do slow, they usually get tired and stop because it's too slow progress. I was always used to never seeing any progress unless I put week 1 to week 8, for instance, to see then I can see a difference. But the scale never changed on me, more or less. Like I can fluctuate up and down when it comes to progressively getting leaner, and then all of a sudden my scale bumps up to 5 pounds overnight for no reason. I might look better and I might look like worse. So, but if you have, relatively speaking, a higher body fat and you're still thin, it means that your muscle mass is low. So you don't really have the muscle mass needed to sport a shredded look. So then when you are, it's called more like a skinny fat, and you don't see any definition. And it's not because, so it's like too low muscle and it's too high body fat. I mean, and the high body fat can be, it's normal. Remember, normal and healthy is not the same as the fitness look that we like. That is a lot leaner, and especially in photos make you look less lean. So you have to compensate with that, for instance, if you want to have pictures. So what you see in real life, for instance, like, man, you go up there, I'm sure you've done this. You go and you look at your abs and they look great, and then you take a photo and it shows nothing. So how does that work? Well, because the eye can pick up a definition that sometimes the camera won't. So yes, definitely. I can feel on my arms if I have a good or bad day, and then it can change over the day. And soft also can mean that you have depleted your muscle glycogen more than you have lost body fat, so your muscles look smaller, like they have nothing that is pumping them up. And then you have your body fat on top, so it's like it's deflated. But if you don't start to drop off your muscle glycogen and try to tap into fat, then you won't lower your body fat. So you see, it's a little catch-22, and unfortunately I see it all the time, that people don't want to do all the hard work needed to build muscle first. They just want to go in and get cut. But getting cut for someone who doesn't muscle turns you into one of those catwalk models, and that's not really what we're trying to achieve, at least not what I want to achieve. Kate says, hi, what is the best way to build muscle on my legs other than lifting weights? Lifting weights is the #1 most efficient way of adding muscle. Otherwise it's going to be intense sprint work, like running sprints, or do plyometrics. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, anything you do will stimulate muscle growth, but depending on what kind of activity, it will show what kind of body you have. For instance, if you're an endurance trainer, you run, there's no reason for you to gain muscle. If you're new to training, no matter what you do that stimulates muscle, even if it's just bike pedaling, will stimulate some muscle growth, but then it stops. And that's when you have to add more. Jason said, hey, lately my energy and motivation is low, not like me, I want it back. It comes and goes, you know, we can't be all jacked up having full energy all the time, especially not when you're trying to cut body fat. What happens is that your brain tries to slow you down to make sure that you don't expend as many calories as before, and also tries to make you eat and lowers your mood. So that's why when you're on a leaning out diet, you have to work a lot on your mental outlook. You can't allow yourself to be bitchy and grumpy or feel poor or sad, feel sad about for yourself that you can't eat what everyone else eat. And every time I feel like that, why can't I eat what everyone else eats? I say, well, do other people look the way I want? And they said, oh no, of course they don't. And then I just like, okay, so why do I think that I can eat the way regular people eat and look another day? I mean, I'm not special, so why would I get that royal treatment? You have to be hard on yourself. Mickey says, my husband has just started DYD. He's 6'2" and 144. What plan should be on a please? Thank you. Mickey, I need to see photos because I can't just go by weight. I can't see if he's skinny fat or he's overweight, and I want to make sure that I do the right thing. We start the challenge on Wednesday, so I will not be in the group until Wednesday, but on Wednesday I will be there and I can assist. Todd says, some say to eat candy after workouts when you're really lean to keep my pump. That's correct. Lynn says, I tried taking one burn and felt like I was having a heart attack. Should I try it again, or do you think it's just not for me? I have no other caffeine. If you're not used to caffeine, you're gonna feel like that. You're gonna get jacked up. And of course, I can't recommend that you're gonna keep it, but most people do like that effect, that you feel all like that. You wanna go and train. You know, it increases your adrenaline. That's why your heart rate will go up. If you're that sensitive, I would say if you want to take it, first eat a big meal like we do in Fighter Diet, and then take it. That way you get milder stimulation. That's why it's so potent to take it in the first thing in the morning, because you don't have any in the system that slows down the stimulants. Aisha says, what's the difference between Fighter Diet and keto? Fighter Diet is not ultra low carb diet. It doesn't restrict sugar like it does in keto. It's higher in protein, it's higher in vegetables. We also have refeeds, which you shouldn't do on keto, because if you do that, you're gonna be thrown out of the ketosis. We don't eat that much fat as you do in keto diet. You have about, I think, usually you have like 20% fat, 20% protein, and you have 10% carbs, so that there's 70% of fat. In Fighter Diet, we usually hover between 20 to 35 grams of 35% of fat. So it's higher in protein, it's higher in carbs, and it's lower in fat. It's more balanced than keto diet. Keto diet is definitely not balanced. Gustavo says, what is better to build up strength? Working one muscular group every day, or working all muscles possible each day? Thanks for attending. Definitely not working all muscle groups every day, because that means you have no recovery. To gain strength, you have to first stimulate your muscles in the gym for challenging weights, and then after that you have to allow rest. One muscle group at a time is not a smart way to train for strength, because strength moves are always compound moves. Nobody goes into the gym and do a biceps curl for max strength. It doesn't make sense. Gary Nordin says, hey Pauline, I'm overweight and I don't want to lose the weight I want to turn it into muscle. How do I do that? You cannot turn fat into muscle, and you cannot turn muscle into fat. It's simply what kind of tissue is getting more energy, or is there a reason for it to grow. So if you're overweight, you have to build muscle, and then you have to make your diet work for you in the way that you lose fat, plus add some cardio to increase your caloric expenditure. Thank you for all the hearts, I love them. Michelle says, it's probably just me, but I was trying to show my buddy how he could get the military challenge for free and I couldn't figure it out. He's in the army. Contact my team. So, customer service at fighterdiet.com. EC Junior says, what's the best rep scheme to build muscle mass? Generally speaking, between 6 and 12 reps for most people. But no routine can be done all the time. And doing work that is less than 6 reps is good to increase the load on the fast type 2 muscle, to let's see, it's 2X, I think it's called. There's 3, like type 1 and type 2A and 2X. And I think it's 2A and the 2X. You can stimulate those with 1 to 3 and 1 to 6. Then we have the typical hypertrophy range, which is 6 to 12, and then but some muscle fibers that are endurance can be stimulated by higher reps, so up to 15 and 20. There's a lot of bodybuilders who do 20 rep squats, and they say it's not light because it's a lot of poundage that they are doing. And legs usually grow a lot from higher rep training as well. Evan says, do you take cheat days meals? No, I don't. Mickey says, why so many angry faces? Pauline likes heart. Exactly. I don't know why. What did I do to you? Trapzilla says, do you twerk? And no, I don't. Not on a regular basis. And also, I'm not really from that culture. I mean, I like hip-hop, but twerking is from the hip-hop community, and I don't belong into that one. I'm not raised into it. I don't have the culture. I like the music, the culture, and the twerk and all that stuff. That I'm not into that. You also don't see me out in the club with those kind of tiny dresses and high heels and, all that stuff. I don't do that. Alexander says, will you come to Europe? Most likely, yes, at some point. If you can't hear my voice, it's because you didn't click on the video and it starts to load. Thea says, cannot tolerate milk protein. Where can I get it in myself enough protein? Oh, there's a lot of different sources. Chicken, fish, eggs, meat, lean pork, vegan protein powder. There's a lot of those. Christine says, hi Pauline, I'm in your Super Shred Challenge currently cutting. Will I lose muscle in this process? There's always a risk for muscle, to lose muscle when you're cutting body fat. What the key is that I always emphasize is that you always have to work like you're fighting to keep the muscles in the gym. Don't go in and assume that 15 reps is like, I just go through like this and not think about something else during the day. You have to think about, if I don't lift max here, and max means that whatever poundage you can handle for all the reps in a certain workout, you're gonna lose it all. That's what I'm telling myself. If I don't outdo myself and I push my best, I'm gonna lose all the muscle. So you have to threat yourself. Threats are underrated. Jeffrey says, is goat or sheep yogurt milk a better absorbed protein source versus cow's milk? As far as I know, in cow's milk, there's 2 kinds of casein, two kinds, that one of them people are more sensitive to the other. Like it's like sub kinds of casein. And there's a difference between the goats and sheep versus cow, but I don't remember, so please Google it, the benefit of drinking goat, I guess. But if it's a yogurt, I would say make sure that it's the Greek yogurt kind, because otherwise it's going to be a higher ratio of carbs versus protein. The Greek yogurt is higher in protein, that's why it's one of the foods that you can have on a regular fighter diet day, and you still don't gonna like skyrocket with your carbs. Greg says, why do my muscles shake a lot early in my workout? 2,400 calories, 50% pro, 30 fat, 20 carb. Well, you are really low on carb. I don't know why, because when you are that low on carb and you're that high on protein, the protein is going to go through something called gluconeogenesis, which means that the protein that you're using, protein that you're consuming, is just going to be converted into glucose. That's not always bad, because it's a costly process, which means that you increase your metabolism. That's why eating protein, I mean, one reason is so thermogenic. It takes a lot of energy to digest it. It's number 1. Number 2 is carbs, fat is 3. And it could be that you are overstimulating your central nervous system. So all that shakiness and so on usually is like when your muscles are tired. So how they, like, let's say you have a contraction with the what do you say, the muscle fibers, that there's actin and myosin. So what they have to do is they have to connect, and there's like ions in here, like calcium and so on, that are gonna be needed to contract. And when you are tired and you have overdone everything in the gym and you start to shake, it's because the ability for those to like contract is going down. And that's why you see the shakiness. It's like your muscles don't know how to operate anymore. Overload, basically. It's the nerves or something. They're sending out weird signals. Christine says, military challenge. My husband and I plan to do together after my super shred. Military challenge can be done at home, correct? Also, can my husband and I share the Facebook to comment question for the challenge? Yeah, you can do it at home, as long as you have equipment that does stimulate your muscles enough. You can't just go and get 2 pounds of dumbbells and think it's gonna work. Regarding the other things, I do not think you can have a joint account, but please contact sasha@fighterdiet.com. Todd says, some say I'm getting skinny. Everyone will say something. When people lose weight, they're gonna say you look skinny, even though you have 100 pounds more to lose. Screw what people say, don't listen to them. They just sit there like, you're getting skinny. And then you lost maybe 2 pounds, and you are 300 pounds overweight. They're gonna say that so you eat more so they don't feel bad. That's how it is. Dina says, why losing fat? Why does my face become so small? My cheeks go inside? Because you have fat here. That's why it goes away. But why not just like enjoy it? You have cheekbones. Like what I have, like my orbital bone here is, since I'm lean for me, so this bone gets really like visible. Sometimes when we shoot, the shadow hits it, and I get like a shadow you can see through here. It's typical, like when you're lean, you can't just spot reduce fat. I'm just happy that I don't have a double chin. I don't like that. So, I don't know. Lauren says, can you build muscle without all the fats in the diet? You need some fat because fats are essential. There's two fatty acids that your body cannot produce that you need to take in on a regular basis. They're called omega-3 and omega-6. And if you don't eat fish, you need to supplement with omega-3. You can take it in krill, you can take it in a vegan formula as well. I think they're getting it from plankton. You see Goosegump is here. And you also need fats to provide nutrients to build cholesterol. And cholesterol is the building block for all steroids. Steroids are hormones. For your joints and your ligaments, for your cell membranes. So, and you need it to absorb vitamin D and vitamin K, and I think the E is some kind of fat soluble too. Vitamin A I forgot, but I think vitamin A is fat soluble as well. So if you don't eat any fat, it's almost like minerals and vitamins and nutrients are gonna pool around in your intestine without being absorbed. So you do want to do that. Baby says, food swap formula for veggie, please. If you want in the group, you have that there. If you don't, then I recommend you buy the new concept book that is coming out. It hasn't come out yet. Or Google my blog for food swaps. It's a lot of stuff. Luell says, Quest protein bars, what are your thoughts on them? Okay, so here's the thing. I really like the flavor and the texture and everything. I like the bars per se. I do like other protein bars better from a treat standpoint, because when I treat myself, I like to have a protein bar. The ones that are really bad, there's one that I really like. It's called Supreme Protein Bars, the caramel one. It's not a health food, but I like it, and it's always gonna be better than a Snickers as well. But I could eat like a box of that and just like that. I have to really restrict myself. That's why I don't buy a whole box, because if I do, I have to struggle with not eating any of them all, you know, and I'm sure my brain could always justify it, but it's more protein. Like, yeah, really? No. There's like 15 to 18 grams of fat and carbs and glycerin. So with Quest bars, if you only think that that's going to be a good source of protein and you eat it regularly, the thing what you forget is that, can you stop messaging me? Ugh. Everyone is on my butt today, every day. With all those 20 grams of protein or whatever it comes with, there's also, so let's say the bar has about 200 calories. They changed the formula, by the way, into being more crappy and less pure. But it tastes better. If you have, that bar is like 200 calories, but 20 grams is protein. So that means 20 times 4, because each gram of protein is going to be 4 calories. So it's going to be 80 calories. So then you have 120 other calories that are from fat and carbs. And I know that those bars usually have around 6 grams of fat. That's 54 calories. So you have 120. Now you have 80 plus 55. That's like oh God, I suck at this. 135 calories. Then there's 70 calories left. And 70, you have to know that that's going to come from sugar alcohols, which can 70 divided with 4 is going to be 35 and 17. So there's 17 grams of carbs that are like hanging out there with the protein. So imagine now if you are one of those who think that the bars are healthy, you're going to add up a lot of extra calories in those bars, or you won't meet your protein requirement because you already met your carbs and your fats from eating them. And also another thing is that they're really addicting. So let's say when I buy, Boston should definitely be sponsored by Quest, because he's like addicted to these. When I buy them for his trips, I ask him, how many did you eat today? And he's like silent, because he likes to, he could just like, he knows how to do his macros. So he stays within his macros, but he's using up them on a Quest protein bar. So it's like, that was not that was not what we planned on. Like, I got you carrots and pink salmon, damn it. And so don't fool yourself. If it looks like a cookie, it's gonna be a cookie at some extent. Okay, one more question, then I have to go because I have to work out. Jeffrey says, can I use high-intensity interval workouts to replace the elliptical, treadmill, or bike? Does it still count towards cardio? I don't like the traditional cardio. I'm not sure what you mean by traditional cardio, but of course you can do whatever you like, as long as it challenges you and it doesn't ruin your recovery rate in the gym from hitting deadlifts and squats and pull-ups and so on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always a pleasure. And go to fighter.challenge.com. First come, first serve. Only 500 of the free the active duty and vets are gonna get the free admission. The Summer Shred and the D-Fat America are up there for grabs. And if you want to get into DID, today is definitely the last day, and tomorrow to get in and not get late to the party. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day.